Today we're at the Artizan Gallery in Lucius Street in Torquay. The gallery very much open and inviting the public to view its many exhibitions that it has throughout the year. But today we're looking at a local artist who's staging a special exhibition, and what he has, his aim has been to do an artwork a day for 365 days. He started on the 1st of January this year and will carry on to the 31st of December. Quite a task. So tell me, Phil, what made you want to do this?
Okay. Yeah, so it has been quite an undertaking. I started doing this when I was feeling a bit purposelessness in it was in one of the lockdowns, and I wasn't working full time, and I found that I was needing something to create a bit of purpose in my life. So my job, normally when I'm working, I work in the field of well-being. I work in schools helping teenagers with their emotional health. And personally, I think one of the keys to emotional health, certainly for me, is finding the right balance between purpose and rest. And I don't think that's always easy. Sometimes I need to rest because I get too busy, but sometimes life, for whatever reason, seems to lack purpose and I need something else. I need to create something. And I found myself in that space on January the 1st. Now, I looked at the year ahead, didn't know what it was going to look like, but felt that without work, I needed something else. So I set myself a challenge, 365 days of an artwork a day. Now, very quickly, my work came back. I found myself in the position of working full time, having various other hobbies, and trying to create an artwork a day. But still, somehow, in that time set aside, sat down, music on, paints out, I found both rest and purpose. And art for me has been incredible in that it's brought those two things together. And as long as I find balance in that, then I am able to find both purpose and rest in art. And it brings me a lot of happiness, brings me a lot of calm, brings me a lot of content. But interestingly, it also brings me a lot of purpose.
So Phil, okay, what is the purpose of art?
Wow, I mean, that's a big question, but clearly I'm trying to communicate something in art. I think the only valid judgment of art is what does it make you feel. So the viewer looks at a piece of art and they either connect with it, they either feel something, or they don't. And for them, that piece of art hasn't connected with them. It's still valid, it's probably valid for somebody else, but it might not be valid for them. So I think as the viewer, the question is, does this piece of art make me feel something? So that leaves the artist trying to communicate something. Honestly, when I set out on 365 days of art, I had no idea that I was trying to communicate something. It didn't even occur to me I was trying to communicate something. I enjoyed painting, I enjoyed the process, and there was some sense of pleasure and pride in displaying my work or putting it on the internet. And then I started to hear from people, and people would be in touch and they would start to say, wow, I love what you're doing, it really makes me feel happy. Or they might say, I love what you're doing, it makes me feel content, it makes me feel calm. And a lot of people are going through a lot of things this year. We all know, what's happened in the last couple of years. And a lot of people contacted me and said, somehow in the turmoil of my life, I feel some calm, because every day there's this moment where your artwork appears, I look at it and I feel something. And that's incredibly satisfying as an artist. You realise you've made a connection, you've communicated something. So at that point I really started to think, okay, well, look, I'm painting 365 days. I can't possibly paint the same style day after day after day. Ideally, as an artist, you at some point want to find a style. I've painted before, I've painted for a few years. I am a regular painter, never as regular as this, But I'd found myself a little bit of a style. It tends to be cottages, tends to be quite calming colours, lots of greys. But I couldn't keep pushing on with that similar, exactly the same style every day. So then I started to think about the theme. And ultimately I realised the theme was again about balance. But this time it was calm and chaos. Calm, rest, but also liveliness, full of life. I'm a person who, I am somebody who's always smiling. I'm quite full of life. I'm full of energy. But I also like calm, and I realised that somehow in that's who I also was as an artist. So my paintings are quite lively, they're loose, they're messy, they're done quickly, I get it right first time or I don't get it right, I'm painting often in black, there's no going over that, there's no erasing that, I either get it right or I don't get it right. And so there's an immediacy which connects with people, a sense of life and looseness and happiness and joy. But then as well, there has to be that sense of calm. And often for me, the calm is in the cold colours and the life is in the bright pops of oranges and reds. Or maybe the calm is in the surface, but the chaos is in the underpainting. So sometimes I'll put down a surface which is ridiculously chosen colours of pinks and oranges, and then I'll wash over all of that with greys. And the oranges, and they still pop through somehow. Or sometimes the calm is through the window. So many of my paintings, you will see a painting within a painting. So there'll be the main painting, and then there'll be a sort of a window or a view. Sometimes the chaos is in the window and the calm is in the foreground. But always it's about balance. It's about where's the calm, where's the chaos? Is it making people feel alive? But are they feeling good? Are they finding well-being in my paintings? And that always is my process. There's one other way that I find calm and chaos, and that is informed by my family history. So one way I balance calm and chaos uses the principles of Ikebana. Ikebana is an interesting form of Japanese flower arranging, and my grandma was a grand master of Ikebana. So I grew up in Scotland and I was surrounded by these effectively flower arrangements, but they weren't always flowers. Often there was a twig, there was always balance. There was always a sense of what's in the gaps. And actually, as I spoke to my grandma, she explained to me that sometimes it's more about the gaps than the shapes. Now that, for me, has been a really important principle in painting as well. Sometimes it's more about the gaps than the shapes. So I'm thinking more about what's behind than what's in the foreground. And that again is all about finding this elusive balance between calm and chaos. And that's what I'm trying to communicate. So what's the purpose? Well, it has many purposes, but why am I doing it? I'm doing it because I'd like to communicate some sense of balance into people's lives.
Oh, that's great, Phil. So tell me, where can people see your artwork or get access to it in any way?
Good, yeah. So there are normally one or two, sometimes more, pieces here in Artizan in Lucius Street in Torquay. So some of my smaller pieces, these little villages, there's some boards are often here. They're not always like this as a main exhibition, but sometimes if you look around, because it's quite small, you can find a couple of my smaller pieces, very cheap, always for sale. But larger pieces, this is an exhibition that will finish and come down. Hopefully at some point there'll be another exhibition. So if people want to follow me, one way to do it would be through Instagram, if you have Instagram. So Philip Eley Art is my Instagram name. Philip Eley Art will also take you to a website that I have as well. Or Philip Eley Naive Art would be another search term you could put in to find a website. Then Twitter as well. I show my art on Twitter, Philip Eley1. So at Philip Eley1 would be my connection on Twitter. But certainly Instagram is the place where I use the most as a daily, an artwork a day is appearing on Instagram, and that's where a lot of people will kind of comment, and it would be great to hear from folk. I'm always interested in how it makes people feel as I try to communicate. In any way you contact me, Twitter, Instagram, I'm always up for a conversation. I will probably try and do some more exhibitions. I mean, we're not actually fully through the year yet. I haven't missed a day. So every day this year I have done an artwork, and there's no way now I'm going to stop. so I've got till December the 31st. I can guarantee that, unless the world ends or something dramatic happens, I will be continuing. So as you watch this, if you would like to connect through Instagram, you will continue to see new artwork a day appearing. And the themes don't change, but the styles sometimes change. And as you'll see, I think when we show some of these paintings, there are a couple of different styles, and I'm always sort of moving in new directions and stuff. So it might be that maybe next year I will have another exhibition, perhaps here as well. So follow me, and you'll be able to sort of watch my journey and hopefully feel good as you connect with the art that I'm trying to display.